Tonight, 13 investigates tracking a deadly problem inside the Harris County Jail. Families of inmates who died in custody confronting the state officials in charge of our jails, demanding change.
If you want to see somebody bite, nail, shoot, mess with a mother's child. You continue to do things that are not right. I'm not standing for it.
Her daughter among the more than 24 people who died while in custody at Harris County since the beginning of 2022. She, along with other families, traveled to Austin to confront the board in charge of jail standards.
ABC 13's Pooja Lode was the only Houston reporter there in Pooja. You've spent time with some of the families, including the mother we just heard from. Tell us what it was like and where we go from here.
It was extremely emotional for everybody in that room. Just hearing and seeing what these families have been going through. They want accountability and they want change. We sat down with one South Houston mother who says she will never stop fighting for her daughter.
Anyone's worst nightmare. She was unconscious. Both her eyes were open. They eventually taped them down.
Deborah Smith's life will never be the same.
This is who I gave them, and this is who they gave me back.
Deborah's daughter, Kristen Smith, was booked into the Harris County Jail on April 27th last year on an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon charge. The 38-year-old mother was diabetic and required blood pressure medication to stay healthy. Kristen remained in custody because her family says they couldn't afford bond. But less than a month after being booked, jail officials say she was found unresponsive in her bed on May 20th. Paramedics performed CPR and took her to Bentob Hospital. But just 8 days later, on May 28th, Kristen was pronounced dead.
I don't even know how it works for them to get their medicine. It just really didn't add up. If these people are sick and you cannot care for them, you're liable. You're liable.
On any given day at the Harris County Jail, there are nearly 10,000 inmates. Most of them are waiting for trials and haven't been convicted. Kristen Smith needed just $500 to go home.
But she was already dead by the time they got the paperwork finished.
Do you feel like she would be alive today if she wouldn't have been in jail?
I know she would have.
Last year, at least 27 people died while in custody. That's the highest number in decades. 13 Investigates has been looking into issues at the Harris County Jail since last year. In November, we introduced you to the family of Matthew Shelton, a man who, like Kristen, needed only a small bond to get out.
He didn't know what was happening. He was not receiving medical care.
Both Matthew and Kristen were diabetics who died after getting booked in the jail. So when the state issued the jail a notice saying it violated state jail standards by not providing insulin to an inmate who later died, we didn't initially know which inmate was at the center of that inquiry. We later confirmed it was Matthew. But families of inmates remain worried that staffing issues at the jail are leading to a lack of life-saving care.
People are going to slip through the cracks because if there's overcrowding, that means there's not going to be enough people for the number of issues that you're going to encounter.
It's been nearly a year since the Harris Health System has taken over health care for the jail, a move both the sheriff's office and the health system wanted. 13 Investigates has asked for interviews with Sheriff Ed Gonzalez and County Judge Lena Hidalgo about the deaths in the jail. We have not heard back from the sheriff's office, and staff at the county judge's office tells us she's not available for interviews until the end of the month. So Deborah Smith is left waiting, demanding accountability without her daughter.
If you can't treat them like humans, you want to treat them like animals, and animals now have more rights than the people down in Harris County Jail. Close them down.
Pooja Lode, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
And weeks after we reached out to the sheriff's office and Harris Health for comment, both gave statements to 13 Investigates just before this story aired.
The sheriff's office calls the situation a, quote, crisis and said commissioners approved a 24% increase to the jail healthcare budget this year. However, the jail is still overcrowded, and the average inmate spends more than 200 days there. Separately, the executive vice president of Harris Health told 13 Investigates about 4 changes that are happening since taking over health care for the jail. First, changing its medication delivery system to ensure patients get their medications when they need them. Second, implementing telemedicine options for certain patients requiring special care.
Third, creating a new unit for patients who need ongoing medical care. And finally, changing the criteria for those who are sent to jail so more inmates go to local hospitals for immediate treatment.